Open your pantry and look at your rice bag right now. In May 2025, Healthy Babies Bright Futures tested 145 rice samples from 105 brands sold across America and found arsenic in 100% of every single sample. 1 in 4 exceeded the FDA's own safety limit. The FDA has set 0 limits for arsenic in rice you cook for your family. Drop your brand in the comments. 6 bags, arsenic in all of them. But these 6 have the data that makes them the ones to put back on the shelf first. Number 1. Ben's Original. Ben's Original is produced by Mars Food, the food division of Mars Incorporated, headquartered in McLean, Virginia, with over $45 billion in annual revenue. Ben's Original was specifically named in the Healthy Babies Bright Futures May 2025 report, the landmark study covered by CBS News and CNN, as one of the 105 brands tested. The HBBF study found that U.S.-grown long-grain white rice, the core variety Ben's Original sells in its standard product line, averaged 118 parts per billion of total heavy metals when grown in the southeastern United States, the region supplying most large-volume U.S. rice brands. Inorganic arsenic, the more toxic form classified by the EPA as a carcinogen, accounted for the majority of that load. The HBBF report confirmed that cooking rice in excess water and draining, the pasta method, can remove up to 60% of arsenic. Ben's Original's own packaging provides no arsenic testing data, no geographic origin disclosure beyond USA, and no cooking guidance designed to reduce heavy metal exposure. A brand with $45 billion in parent company revenue has published 0 batch-level heavy metal testing results for the product in your pantry. Number 2. Mahatma rice. Mahatma is produced by Riviana Foods, a subsidiary of Ebro Foods SA, headquartered in Madrid, Spain, the world's largest rice producer by revenue. Mahatma's brown rice variety, sold as a health-conscious choice, was specifically documented in independent testing at 317 parts per billion total heavy metals and 201 parts per billion inorganic arsenic. That inorganic arsenic figure is more than double the FDA's 100 ppb action level for infant rice cereal, the only federal arsenic standard that exists for any rice product. Brown rice consistently tests higher than white rice because the bran layer retains arsenic removed during the milling of white rice. Mahatma markets its brown rice as a nutritious, fiber-rich whole grain. The same bran layer that delivers that fiber also concentrates the arsenic. A separate lawsuit related to Mahatma brown rice's heavy metal content is documented as pending in independent testing analysis published in September 2025. No batch-level heavy metal testing has been published by Mahatma or Riviana Foods. Number 3. Great Value Rice. Great Value Rice is produced for Walmart through undisclosed contract manufacturers. The source facility is not identified on the label. Independent testing documented Great Value white rice at 95 to 110 parts per billion, brown rice at 210 parts per billion, and basmati at 125 parts per billion. The basmati figure is notable because Indian-grown basmati typically averages well below 70 ppb, suggesting a sourcing or supply chain concern in the Great Value basmati line. Great Value rice carries no third-party heavy metal testing disclosure, no geographic origin beyond general country labeling, and no independent safety certification. A federal class action, Wright et al. v. Amazon.com Inc., in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington, targeting rice products sold through Amazon for failure to disclose heavy metal contamination, is proceeding toward discovery after Judge James L. Robart upheld consumer claims on August 29, 2025. While that case targets Amazon's platform brands specifically, it confirms the legal and scientific framework under which undisclosed heavy metal contamination in rice is now actionable in federal court. Number 4. Goya medium grain rice. Goya Foods is headquartered in Secaucus, New Jersey, and is the largest Hispanic-owned food company in the United States. Goya medium grain rice was documented in independent testing at 95 to 115 parts per billion total heavy metals, with specific lead concerns flagged as a secondary contamination issue alongside arsenic. Medium grain rice grown in the southeastern United States, which Goya sources as part of its domestic supply, sits in the same high contamination geographic band identified by the HBBF as producing rice averaging 151 parts per billion of heavy metals for U.S.-grown brown rice and 118 parts per billion for U.S. southeastern white rice. Independent testing noted limited transparency from Goya on sourcing and heavy metal screening. Number 5. Kroger store brand white long grain rice. Kroger store brand rice, sold across Kroger, Ralph's, Fred Meyer, Harris Teeter, and Fry's locations, was documented in independent testing at 98 parts per billion arsenic for white long grain and 110 parts per billion arsenic, with over 100 parts per billion cadmium for Kroger basmati. Cadmium is classified by the IARC as a Group 1 human carcinogen, sufficient evidence in humans that it causes cancer, specifically kidney, lung, and prostate cancers. The presence of cadmium above 100 ppb in a rice product, with no disclosure, no published testing results, and no consumer warning, represents a documented failure of label transparency. Simple Truth Organic, Kroger's premium organic sub-brand, has no published heavy metal testing data, confirming that organic certification does not screen for heavy metals. A product can be USDA certified organic and simultaneously contain arsenic above the FDA's infant safety threshold. Number 6. Trader Joe's brown rice and jasmine rice. Trader Joe's was specifically named in the HBBF May 2025 report as one of the 105 tested brands, reported directly by CBS News and CNN in their coverage of the study. Brown rice varieties in the HBBF testing consistently recorded the highest contamination levels of any rice format. U.S.-grown brown rice averaged 151 parts per billion of total heavy metals, including 129 parts per billion of arsenic. Trader Joe's does not publish sourcing origin details or heavy metal testing results for its rice lines. Its brand positioning centers on quality curation and transparency, a positioning that registered dietitians and food safety researchers have noted is not supported by published contaminant data for its rice products. Safe Brand 1. Lundberg Family Farms Organic White Rice. Lundberg Family Farms, headquartered in Richvale, California, produces all of its rice from California's Sacramento Valley. The single geographic origin the HBBF May 2025 report identified as producing the lowest heavy metal contamination of any U.S.-grown rice. California-grown sushi and Calrose rice average just 65 parts per billion total heavy metals, less than half the contamination of southeastern U.S. varieties. Lundberg publishes third-party heavy metal testing results publicly on its website, not claimed, but batch-specific laboratory data accessible to any consumer before purchase. Its white rice varieties consistently test at or below 65 parts per billion, and its basmati at approximately 55 parts per billion, among the lowest documented figures in the entire U.S. market. Lundberg holds USDA certified organic, non-GMO project verified, and certified B Corp status simultaneously. Available at Whole Foods, Target, Kroger, Walmart, and Amazon. If Lundberg is already in your pantry, drop a comment and let us know. And if you are making the switch today, tell us what you are switching from. Safe Brand 2. Lotus Foods Organic White Jasmine. Lotus Foods is headquartered in Richmond, California, and sources its organic white jasmine rice exclusively from Thailand, the origin identified by the HBBF May 2025 report as producing rice with consistently 50% lower arsenic than U.S. averages. Thai jasmine rice tested at approximately 65 parts per billion, one of the cleanest documented figures in the entire HBBF dataset. Lotus Foods holds USDA certified organic, non-GMO project verified, and certified B Corp certifications. The brand publishes its sourcing transparently and was cited by the HBBF report as an example of lower contamination origin sourcing. Lotus Foods' commitment to regenerative farming practices means the rice fields themselves are managed to reduce heavy metal uptake through soil health, an upstream intervention that laboratory testing confirms produces measurable downstream results. Available at Whole Foods, Target, Sprouts, and Amazon. Like, share, and subscribe for more investigations into the foods filling American homes. And tell us in the comments, which rice brand you use most often.